Nissan dealer now. Buy 9X.
Good evening, everybody. From Fenway Park in Boston, I'm Ned Martin, along with Bob Montgomery. The Red Sox opening a long homestand, 8 games against the Western Coast clubs, starting with the Seattle Mariners. Now, the theme apparently in this series, the way two teams have been hitting, will be pitching. And Roger Clemens, who has been hot lately, missed a start in Kansas City on Sunday because of the rain, is ready to go and improve his record to 4-0 if he can. He's had trouble with this club more than any other club in his young career. He's opposing Mike Moore, who may be the best right-hander, the best pitcher that the Seattle Mariners had, and a 2-1 pitcher against the Red Sox last year.
I don't think there's a lot of doubt about your setting the style here of this series. Could very well be pitching. One thing for sure, this first night's matchup will definitely feature some pitching. The Seattle Ball Club, a little struggle for themselves at the plate lately. One thing that Roger may have in their favor, he's certainly a strikeout pitcher. This Seattle Ball Club has struck out now 154 times, which will easily lead the American League in that department, so maybe he can take advantage of them that way.
They've had some pretty bad figures. They started very well. They're on a course where they're trying to right themselves also. We'll have things going on right now, ladies and gentlemen, from Fenway Park. John Kiley at the organ and our national anthem.
John Kiley plays our national anthem.
Starting lineups for the Seattle Mariners on a cool night, but not unreasonably so, at Fenway with the wind blowing in. Spike Owen will lead off and play shortstop. Phil Bradley in left field. Ken Phelps at first base. Gorman Thomas, the hitter. Jim Presley, third base. Ivan Calderon in right field. Danny Tartable at second base. Dave Henderson in left field. And Steve Yeager, the catcher. The umpiring crew will be Vic Voltaggio behind the plate, Tim Welke at first base, crew chief Dave Phillips at second, and Larry McCoy calling the plays at third. As we mentioned, the wind blowing in, a pitcher's night, and here's one pitcher that's ready to go, Roger Clemens.
Hey, Wally, one thing, he's won every time he's had a chance to be a winner here in 1986, 3-0 in the year, 1.85 earned run average. 24 in the third innings of work for Roger. He's given up 19 hits. That's impressive. He's given up 5 earned runs out of a total of 7, walking 10, striking out 19. And as we mentioned before, he'll look at this Seattle Ball Club tonight, who right now is hitting a very small 207, which is, as you might imagine, the low mark for an American League team offensively. That doesn't mean to say that they don't have some guys that can hit some pitches. That is for sure that they can. They proved last year some young men in their lineup can really get around on some fastballs. So may be important, as I was mentioning last week in the start for Roger here against Kansas City. They also possess some very good fastball hitters. So do the Seattle Mariners, and you kind of hope that they stay a little bit on that low slide that they have been on until they can get out of here and play some of these other Eastern American League foes.
Well, Roger beat Chicago 7-2 April 11th in Chicago. He won his next 2 starts, both of them here, Kansas City and Detroit. He's had trouble with Seattle in his career. He has not beaten them. He is 0-2 against them, and of course is making. He was 0-1 last year, making his first appearance against them, as we see Seattle for the first time as they come as part of a long road trip. They've already played 4 games on the road trip and lost 3 of them in Oakland. They started their trip in Oakland and are coming here to face the Eastern clubs along the seaboard, including this series starting tonight. Red Sox having enjoyed a day off, a legitimate day off, following the rain out in Kansas City. They got home at a decent hour and had the day to themselves. So they're ready to go. Tony Armas unable to play. Steve Lyons in center field for the Red Sox tonight. And Bill Buckner, still favoring a bad elbow, is the designated hitter again with Don Baylor at first base.
One thing that may have helped Ned, though, is getting Rice 2 days off after that knee had flared up on him a little bit.
Right.
And he is, with Armas out of there, has to be in that lineup in the outfield.
Spike Owen, the shortstop, hitting .246 with 1 run batted in. Mariners have come across bad ways at the plate of late. After a pretty good start, they won 5 of their first 7 or 8 ball games, and then started dipping as a hitting team. There's strike 1. We are underway at Fenway. Blows him down with a fastball up and in. The given temperature, 56 degrees. A little cooler it feels because the wind is blowing in. A little bit of an east wind. Owen up there, able to handle a bat, able to bunt, so Boggs is close at third, and down he goes again. As Roger has been inside on him 3 straight times, 2 of them like that.
Not very nice to your former teammate, I guess, is it? You've been a little close to Spike.
2 balls, 1 strike. Well, he's got to know something about him.
Apparently he knows that he can't get around an inside pitch, it looks like.
Strike 2. 2 and 2. And a foul back by Spike Owen. Owen's been a pretty good road hitter so far this year with this club. He's had 10 hits and 29 times up away from the Kingdome. Make it ball 3, strike 2. Fouls a good pitch back as Roger comes in up and in again. Owen will be followed by Phil Bradley and Ken Phelps. Red Sox had seen nobody but the Tigers, the White Sox, and Kansas City for a couple of weeks, and now they're going to see nobody but these Western clubs for a couple more. Good 3-2 pitch again, foul back. Play the Mariners, Oakland, and California here, and then go right out to the coast after that and play the same 3 teams again in an 8-game set. Clemens just kept pouring the coals on a 3-2 count and finally got Spike Owen.
Actually, you make a little better hitter out of Spike Owens once you get the counts to 3-2, and he did foul off some pretty good pitches from Roger, but looks like Roger may have said, well, let me get just a little extra, and he scooted that one right by Mr. Owen.
So there's one of them gone, and Phil Bradley, the left fielder, is up. Ball 1 to this fine-looking player who right now is struggling with a .239 mark and has had 5 hits in his last 40 times up. 2-0. Bradley hit an even .300 last year and .301 the year before. His first 2 full years with Seattle. There's a strike.
Calgary team and activated right-handed pitcher Edwin Nunez for tonight's game.
2-1 pitch. 3-1.
Also, there is a change in Thursday's pitcher for the Mariners. Bill Swift will start instead of Matt Young.
Paul Mirabella, a pitcher, has been optioned, outrighted by the Mariners, and Edwin Nunez activated. 3-2 again, and the second 3-2 count. Three ball, 2 strike count to Bradley. And strike 3. Well, a mess of pitches, but they all turned out right for Clemens so far. 2 straight strikeouts.
Not a bad sequence. Roger got behind quickly 2-0, then went to the breaking ball to get the strike, and then back to the fastball. Bradley went for a borderline pitch there with a count 3-2, and your fastball hitter, he's got to get it turned up one thing a little bit quicker than that. Last 2 of those fastballs just right by Bradley untouched.
Here is first baseman Ken Phelps, who's been up only 15 times with 3 hits. Alvin Davis has a jammed shoulder. The normal first baseman, he is out of the lineup and is on a day-to-day basis. So Phelps is playing in here. Has 2 home runs, though. He's a long ball type. Takes ball 1. Clemens pitching on a coolish night, but actually this is the best weather he's had so far. He has pitched on 3 cold games previously. It's a 2-0 count to Phelps. And that missing high, 3-0. So a bunch of pitches this first inning for Roger Clemens. Gorman Thomas is the designated hitter. He's on deck. Gets in there with a 3-1 count. Outfield shoveled around to right on Phelps, a pull hitter. Strike 2. Cuts that inside corner. Phelps trying to wait the walk. Jackknifed a little bit from that, but that caught the inside corner very nicely. And now for the 3rd straight batter, a 3-2 count. Got him. What a pattern in that first inning for Roger Clemens. Goes 3-2 on Owen, Bradley, and Phelps, and strikes them all out, swinging for rather startling and awesome first inning. So he seems to be on right now. And after a half inning of play, it's Seattle 0, and the Red Sox coming up. And they're coming up with this lineup tonight. Dwight Evans in right field. Wade Boggs at third base. Bill Buckner, the designated hitter. Jim Rice in left field. Don Baylor back again at first base. Rich Gedman, the catcher. Marty Barrett at second base. Steve Lyons in center field. And Glenn Hoffman back to the wars at shortstop after sitting out with the bad ankle. And out on the mound, the #1 draft pick in the nation in 1981. Seattle got him, and he has been worth it, Mike Moore.
Big man out of Oklahoma, about 6'5" of him, somewhere around 205, 210. He'll be making a start number 5 for him. He's had a 1-1 record, a 2.08 earned run average. 34 2/3 innings of work for the big right-hander, and he can be nasty on some right-handed hitters. He has given up 30 hits, 12 runs, 8 of those have been earned. He's walked 11, struck out 19. That 11 and 19 ratio, not really indicative of him. He'll be around that plate a little more often. He will not walk as many in a ratio to strikeout as he has currently running for himself. The Seattle Mariner Ball Club has given up 21 home runs, and Moore has given up 4 of those.
2-1 against the Red Sox last year. And those are victories here. And on his season doings with them, he has beaten them 3 times and has lost to them 3 times since coming up after being their #1 choice in the country. Dwight Evans, Wade Boggs, and Bill Buckner will be up. Evans batting .242 with 1 home run and 6 batted in. Outfield straight away on Dwight, taking strike 1. We might be feeling more of a breeze than the natural wind tonight. So far we have with Clemens in that first half. Has some more from this guy too. Foul back, and it's 0-2.
Talk about intimidation a lot as a right-handed hitter especially, and I mentioned in fact Moore really tough on right-handers. When you look at his frame, you think he's going to step on you when he lets it go.
Strikes out Evans. Breaking ball, and Evans claims he tipped it and it was into the dirt and came into the glove of Steve Yeager. That's what he is claiming. Of course, if that's the case, then it would not be a strike. It has to be caught cleanly, but overruled by Vic Voltaggio. So we've seen nothing but strikeouts so far.
I don't think this ball hit the ground. A good hard slide is another thing that makes him tough on the right-handers. We'll check it out a little closer right here, though. No, he just kind of got the glove turned the wrong way, really, but I do not think that ball hit the ground.
Wade Boggs taking ball one. Boggs at .318 with a couple of homers and 12 batted in. Boggs last year hit .357 against this club. Well, we got something hit anyway down to shortstop, and Spike Owen throws Boggs out. Two down in the Red Sox first inning. Bill Buckner playing again as the designated hitter, still bothered by the sore elbow. And the ball.
Billy, big hit.
Buck hitting an even 200. One home run had it in Kansas City. There's a shot to center field, and Henderson back. He has got it for the out. A 1-2-3 inning for Mike Moore, and the pattern may have been set. After one inning, no score.
Lots of Chevy cars. Cavaliers. Check them out. Now, your Mass Chevy dealers coming at you with some hot stuff, like the Chevy Cavalier, the best-selling car in America. A big selection available now at very nice little prices. Come into your Mass Chevy dealer and get what's coming to you.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Oh, yes, you can.
Top of the second inning in a scoreless game. We would like to welcome back to the booth Kathy Kurtz-Ferrari, who was our AD last year, all last year. She's done one thing. She's changed her name. Got married, and we're happy to have her back. And we are very pleased to have had Amy Croak here for the times before Kathy returned. So all is well. Amy will be working with the opposing team broadcasters. We'd also like to welcome back Walter Underhill, who was the Writers' Good Guy of the Year award at their Writers' Dinner last year. He's now back behind the wood, the hardwood, in the bar upstairs in the press room. Welcome back to Walter. He'd been indisposed for a while. Roger Clemens was welcoming the Seattle Mariners pretty heftily in the first inning. He struck them out 1-2-3. Pattern was the same. He went 3-2 on 3 hitters and got them swinging. Gorman Thomas, designated hitter, hitting .220 with 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Ball one. There's a shot to left field. Rice back. He's got it. That ball hit hard. Thomas, who has hit the Red Sox hard in the past, this time lines to Jim Rice in left field. One down in the second, and Jim Presley, third baseman, up. He's hitting .208. That's far below what he can do. 2 home runs and 9 runs batted in for Presley. 7 hits in his last 51 times up. The kind of struggle that he has had. There's a strike. Hitting .137 in his last 13 games. He's a better player than that and a better hitter than that. Strike, cutting that outside corner. Roger seems to be in the rhythm. Velocity is there. That didn't take long at all. Little wrinkle on that third pitch. And Presley is out. Strikeout number 4 for Clemens.
Not much question about Roger being on a roll right now. He's doing it both ways, with the heater and with a good sharp breaking ball. That one didn't get really to where he would like to have had it, but it had enough velocity on it that still, these Mariners with a little bit of a slow bat. Roger even got the breaking ball by Presley there.
Ivan Calderon, the right fielder, lunging for strike 1. Clemens has struck out 10 or more 5 times in his career, 4 times at Fenway. He's got strike 2 on Calderon. Working on his 5th strikeout now if he can get it. Fans are starting to get excited early. 0-2 to Calderon. Got him. Right across that outside corner. And 2 more strikeouts for Clemens. He's got 5. After an inning and a half, no score. And now a message from Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Center. At Sullivan Tire, you'll be treated with our family spirit because that's what Sullivan Tire's all about.
I realized something when I started Sullivan Tire many years ago. It wasn't enough to offer the best parts and tires. My customers expected more. They wanted to walk into a Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Center and be helped with personal family service.
At any of our locations, you'll be treated with our family spirit, because that's what Sullivan Tire is all about.
Now, Goodyear Vector white walls on sale, only $49.95 for the P155 80R13.
Bud Thunder is revved up and coming at you.
Jim Rice leading off in the second for the Red Sox. No score in this one, as Roger Clemens has put on a 5 strikeout display in the first 2 innings. Mike Moore, fly ball right field, fairly deep, but under it out there is Calderon, and he's got it for the out. Rice with a .235 average and 3 home runs flying out on the first pitch. It's raining in New York right now, delaying the start of the game between the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. The scheduled pitchers are John Butcher for the Twins and Ron Guidry, 3-0 for the Yankees. California underway at Toronto. No score in the bottom of the first. Kirk McCaskill against Dave Steve. Steve has yet to win a game. Don Baylor up and a foul tip for a strike. Baltimore at Chicago. Tom Seaver has returned to California for a death in the family. He'd been out there before attending his mother, so he is not with the White Sox. He was scheduled to start tonight. In tight to Baylor, who has a .234 mark with 4 home runs. Gene Nelson, the White Sox pitcher against McGregor in Chicago tonight. Ball 2. Kansas City Royals nothing. The Tigers nothing. Bottom of the first at Detroit. Dennis Leonard against Frank Tanana. Oakland at Milwaukee. Cleveland at Texas later. 2-1 to Don Baylor. Mike Moore on the mound. Slider for a strike. 2-2. The New York Mets, with a 9-game winning streak on the line, are leading the Atlanta Braves 7-5 in a wild win in the 6th inning at Atlanta. Ron Darling is long gone, relieved by Bereni and Leach. For the Mets, that's high to Baylor. 3-2. Mailer relieved by McMurtry for Atlanta. Strawberry hit a home run, his 3-run job, his second. And Claudell Washington hit one, his second, for the Braves. Slowly hits the third, charged by Presley, bare-handing it and safe at first base. Off the bag with a foot was the first baseman, Ken Phelps. And it'll go as a base hit for Baylor.
Good little play by Presley. Of course, with a 3-2 count on Baylor, Presley's going to be back to take advantage of that range and coverage. He comes charging hard, makes a good, strong throw, and I believe Baylor would have been out had Phelps stayed on the bag. But he tried to cheat to help that play along a little bit. Came off the bag a little bit too early. And Tim Welke right there to make the proper call.
Little squib hit for Baylor. He's at first with 1 out, and Rich Gedman up. Ball 1. Gedman batting .293. Couple of home runs and 6 runs batted in. Other National League games, Montreal's at Cincinnati. 0-0 after 1. Smith against Soto. Strike on Gedman. Houston at Philadelphia. The Astros have won 3 in a row. They did not score in the top of the first. Phillies now batting. Ryan against Shane Rawley. Nolan Ryan for the Astros, 3-2, and Rawley is 2-1. A nice save there by Phelps on a bad throw by Moore. The Cubs are at San Diego, St. Louis at San Francisco, and Pittsburgh at Los Angeles later on tonight. 1-1. Chop to the right side and taken care of by Danny Tartable. That moves Baylor to second. Gedman is out there, 2 away. Danny Tartable making a visit to Fenway Park for the first time, a place where his dad played on the pennant winners of 1967. Jose Tartable, there's Danny, who already has hit more home runs this early season than his dad had in a career, I believe. I think Jose had 2, I'm not sure. But the Bull was a good player. He was fast. He was really a great addition to that club. He came over in '66 and stayed for 2 or 3 years. And it's his son now playing second base. Marty Barrett. The breaking ball by Mike Moore, ball 1. Barrett is hitting .327. Tops on the club. 1 home run, 5 batted in.
Jose's a bad singer in the shower, though.
Yeah.
No matter whether he had a good day or a bad day, he was still bad as a songster.
I joined him in several choruses on a train once cross country when we had to take a train instead of a plane. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Played with him just a short while in Louisville in 1970. And he was caught in one of those numbers jobs there, and they sent him there, and he played for just a little while.
He was quite a guy, though. Always upbeat.
Oh, he was that. He was one of those guys that wanted to play 15, 16 innings every day instead of just 9 if you would have let him.
He could fly. He could run. Made one of the big plays in the '67 season when he threw out Ken Berry at home plate in Chicago, which potentially the winning run of a ball game. And he didn't have an arm at all, but he unloaded, and Berry, who could really run, was put out by Elston Howard. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now, looking at the size of Danny Tartabull against Jose, he's about twice as strong looking as Jose ever was from their bill. Jose, kind of like a soda straw if he turns sideways.
A little oil can Boyd in
yeah, just
Jose.
about. That's right. Good comparison.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking pitch. Watch it. 1-2 with 2 away. Jostled the monitor. Ready? Beautiful silhouette there. It's all in negative. Ball and 2 strikes. Grounded toward third and foul. Presley up with it, ready to fire, but called foul by Larry McCoy. And Baylor goes back to second. 2 out and 1 on in the second inning for the Red Sox in a scoreless game. Tigers got 1 in the first. They lead Kansas City 1-0 after 1 inning of play. Barrett trying to pick up Baylor for the first run if he could. Fly ball pretty well hit to left center field, back toward the gap, and it is taken out there by Henderson, going away on the warning pass. Barrett's bid for extra bases falls a little short, and that is all for the Red Sox in the second. They leave 1. And after 2 innings of play, 0-0.
When you buy a Nissan 300ZX, you buy a legend, a tradition of many Z cars, each meticulously made to the tolerance of an expensive watch. You buy a racing heritage unmatched by any car in its class. But most of all, when you buy the awesome 300ZX, you buy Nissan, America's #1 selling import car. The name is Nissan.
Who says you can't have 100% imported hops and a less filling beer? Old world aging and a less filling beer. Smooth super premium taste and a less filling beer. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
This copyrighted program is brought to you under pay cable TV rights granted by the Red Sox, solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the written consent of the New England Sports Network and the Boston Red Sox is prohibited. Game moving along here into the 3rd inning with the Red Sox and Mariners no score. People starting to get the bat on the ball a little bit in the second after a very silent first inning thrown by 2 pitchers. Here's the way Barrett hit that ball.
He's going to make a little noise off that wall, I think, Ned, and that wind not be blowing right in his face, although as the flag will tell you right there, not really a stiff breeze blowing right into Marty's face. Charged up pretty good. Henderson a little bit into right center, not that far. Henderson got over there to make a nice running catch, and then had time to protect himself with those pads. He got that right forearm up.
Here's Danny Tartabull taking ball 1. Tartabull started the season very in a hurry with those 4 homers. He hasn't been hitting much lately, but then the rest of the club hasn't either.
You know what happened, Ed? He had a little stomach virus, got sick for a couple of days. He came back and then lost a total of like 12 pounds over that time of being sick. And I don't know. I'm not sure he's really back to his full strength yet.
Now, if you lose 12 pounds in a hurry like that, you aren't.
Lost 7 of them after playing that one game when he came back, and he was just kind of all run down and let out. They couldn't figure out what exactly was wrong with him. And then since then, that's the reason I couldn't figure out where he had hit more home runs.
Goes for the 3-0 pitch off Roger and fouls it back. Roger running the count to 3-0, and now it's 3-1. Tartable, kind of slide he's been in, has 2 hits in his last 28 times at bat.
What he gets for hitting all those home runs so early.
And Roger gets back again on a 3-2 count after going 3-0.
Well, he's drawn a little bit too much attention to himself. Pitchers around the league say, wait a minute here. Here's somebody we got to be reckoned with, and we'll bear down a little harder.
Goes to Barrett at second. And that's 1 away. Fans wanted a strikeout, number 6 from Clemens, but they got the ground out instead, and that's fine with Roger, considering he went 3-0 to Tartable. 1 down in the Mariner third. And Dave Henderson, the center field, coming up. Henderson hitting 128. 2 homers and 5 RBIs, but in the last couple of years, he at least has, on at least 2 occasions, beaten the Red Sox with home runs in this ballpark. A strike to him. 0-1. He has 2 hits in his last 20 times up. Foul back, watch it. Yeah, coming up here about as hard as they're coming into the plate. 0-2, the count.
Thank goodness we got a little longer to watch it, though. Those hitters knew.
Right. Strike 3, number 6. Henderson called out on strikes right on that outer edge.
Boy, Roger does not waste any time here. He's just looking for a good thin spot on that plate to use, and he did. He just had maybe half the ball on that outside corner, and the rest of it splitting that batter's box.
Here is Steve Yeager, catcher, and in strike 1, making his first journey to Fenway Park after spending his time with the Dodgers in the National League. Hitting 133 right now. 1 ball, 1 strike. New veteran who, well, several spring trainings ago, his name was bandied about as possibly coming to the Red Sox. All Gavin has to do is just to present the target right now to Roger the way he's going. He's upstairs with that one, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeager kind of got double trouble this year. He's got not only learn American League pitchers, but he's got to learn American League hitters.
Yeah.
File all those guys away and try to keep some kind of a mental book on them when he can go get it when needed.
Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Yeager.
One thing, Ned, Seattle's still with a little bit of a young pitching staff, and Yeager's experience back there should help them along a little bit.
Crowd yelling for the strikeout. Ball or 3. Or 2-2. Yeager came over to this ball club for left-handed reliever Ed Vandenberg. The pitch fouled off. Smallish crowd, but right now they're being treated to some pitching here by both pitchers, but mostly by Clemens with the strikeouts that he has. 6 of them so far. Fly ball, center field. And Steve Lyons in the starting lineup right there. So that takes care of the 3rd inning, and Clemens has retired 9 batters in a row. And after 2 1/2 innings, it's 0-0.
I realized something when I started Sullivan Tire many years ago. It wasn't enough to offer the best parts and tires. My customers expected more. They wanted to walk into a Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Center and be helped with personal family service.
At any of our locations, you'll be treated with our family spirit, because that's what Sullivan Tire is all about.
Now, Goodyear Vector white walls on sale, only $49.95 for the P155-80R13.
The world of art, fueled by passion, bound only by man's imagination. The world of science, the purest distillation of information. May 5th, Polaroid Corporation will introduce the Spectra system, and the world of science and the world of art will become one.
Tickets for Red Sox home games, including tomorrow night's game against the Seattle Mariners, are on sale in the Red Sox ticket office at 4 Yawkey Way. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9:30 to 2. Or by calling the Red Sox at 617-267-1700 and charging your tickets to any major credit card. That number, once again, 617-267-1700.
Along the left field wall at Fenway Park, and nobody's hit that wall yet. Only one batter has come close, Marty Barrett. As Mike Moore here and Roger Clemens have been dueling. Clemens has fanned 6 and retired 9 batters in a row. Moore has given up 1 hit, and he struck out the first batter he faced in the game, but has had no trouble. Steve Lyons coming up. Lyons starting now in place of the injured Tony Armas. Oh, he's upbeat. He was hyper around the batting cage today. Just couldn't wait to get started, get back in the lineup. He's only been to bat 5 times this year with 1 hit. That hit knocked in a run in Kansas City. 2-0 from Moore. Lyons, Hoffman, and then Dwight Evans this inning.
That hit happened to come with the bases loaded. Never know. That may start a string like Pat Tabler's got over in Cleveland.
Boy, there's a long way to go to get that. I don't know what kind of records they're ever kept about that, but I'm kind of glad they started with Tabler because his figures are amazing.
He made him start a record service on that particular situation.
3-0 to Lyons. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Steve didn't have to get up too high for this game. He's high almost every day anyway, but he likes to play. A lot of energy.
Now has the count 3-2 as Moore comes back from a 3-0 count. Ball up in the air to Henderson in center field. 1 out. Henderson with 3 putouts so far. Now somebody else coming back into the wars, Glenn Hoffman. This is kind of a replay of last year, except it's a month earlier, when Hoffman went into the lineup when Gutierrez was hurt, and when Lyons came into the lineup when Armas was hurt, right around the latter part of May. This time it's the latter part of April, and they're getting back into it again. 1 strike to Hoffman, who says his ankle is fine, and he's kind of glad to start getting back here on grass. He's going to be playing his first 8 games on grass anyway. And he is behind on the count, 0-2. Wasn't too anxious to start breaking back in on artificial turf. Mike Moore to Glenn Hoffman. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got him. And Moore has a strikeout, his second. So he has gotten the leadoff batter and the number 9 hitter.
Good nasty breaking ball pitch from Mike Moore here. Of course, this is what he can do to you. You have to certainly respect his fastball, and his control is awfully good. As I mentioned earlier, those 11 walks and 19 strikeouts, not a good ratio for him at all.
2 down very quickly to the leadoff hitter, Dwight Evans. He went down swinging in the first. Seattle 0, Boston 0, 3rd inning. The game just about as advertised so far. The pitching matchup between Clemens and Moore. Here's a base hit up the middle on a breaking ball, and Evans is on. 2-out single for Dwight Evans. The second Red Sox hit.
Moore trying to get to the outside part of the plate with this breaking ball. Doesn't quite get there. Dewey's got pull on his mind. That ball just stayed pretty much right in the middle, and Evans just shot him right back up the middle. Yes, sir. Boy, that's some low hemp right there running at you.
Two down to Wade Boggs with Evans at first. Boggs grounded to shortstop in the first. And strike one right on the outside edge. They have the left fielder, Phil Bradley, well toward the line, but they do not place the center fielder, Henderson, over that far into left center. He's more or less holding his own, only a couple of steps over to left center field. Tigers won Kansas City nothing after 2 at Tiger Stadium. Dancing back from that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Toronto has taken a quick lead over California 1-0 after 1 at Exhibition Stadium. Evans just back, but the ball got away from Phelps anyway.
Ball might have hit Dewey on the hand or on the elbow. I believe it did. He goes diving back with that hand outstretched to the bag. It's just about the right size lead. The question is whether Phelps got any leather on it to slow it down a little bit. Or
he maybe did.
Yeah.
Marty, and it's kind of blocked it some. 1 ball, 1 strike. Evans bluffs and Boggs takes. Ball 2, 2-1. California's tied up Toronto now, 1-1 in the second. Still raining in New York, delaying the start between Minnesota and the Yankees. Evans at first base, 2 out, 3rd inning, no score. Now Boggs has the count his way, 3-1. No slide this time.
Well, that's a pretty good heat there from Moore to Phelps.
Right.
I'll tell you. He's coming right up over the top, and he's not taking anything off.
Boggs to left field, curving foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes. In that game in Atlanta, the Mets have added 2 more runs. They now lead Atlanta 9-5 after 7 as the Mets try for their 10th in a row. We've got McDowell in there, the 4th pitcher they've used so far tonight. Dale Murphy has gone out of that game with a gash in his right hand in the 3rd inning. So I don't know how long he will be lost to Atlanta. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Evans will go. Boggs kind of flails it to left field. Under it and making the catch is Bradley. And that is all for the Red Sox in the 3rd inning. They get a hit and they leave 1. And after 3 innings of play here, it is 0-0.
Every classic stage has its great players, and Fenway Park has had its share of the best. Jimmy Fox, Ted Williams, yeah, and the Red Sox tradition at Fenway Park continues. Head to Fenway Park to see the Red Sox this season. Visit the Red Sox ticket office at 4 Yawkey Way or charge tickets by calling 267-1700. Red Sox baseball, a Boston tradition.
In the Houston-Philadelphia game, the Phils came up with 6 runs off Nolan Ryan in the 1st inning, including Mike Schmidt's 5th home run. It came with 2 men on. Louis Aguayo hit a home run with a man on, his first, so they have knocking Ryan around and lead 6-0 down to Philadelphia after 1. Here it is silent movies so far as Mike Moore and Roger Clemens are hammering it out on the mound. 0-0, and Clemens has faced 9 batters, got them all, and 6 on strikes. Not a bad start, Mr. Montgomery.
Well, it isn't, Ned, especially if you're a baseball purist. Of course, you and I kind of like these games a little bit more. Watch some pitching and not quite so much offense. Although the Red Sox do have a couple of hits, they have not been able to get anybody past second base. Baylor did get there on a infield out. Top of the order up for the Mariners. Owen swung right through that one, foul tipped it. 0-1 the count. 3 batters here scheduled up were all struck out by Roger, of course, in the first inning. He has struck out 6 now through his first 3 innings of work. Baylor in even with the bag at first. Boggs in front of the bag at third. Strike 2. Roger hasn't really played around much with the middle part of the plate, and not only is he striking some people out, he's not doing it just power-wise. He's doing it with a little bit of control mixed in. Had a couple of strikeouts on some curveballs. The 0-2 quickly to Owen. There's the curveball raked into right field. That's the first Seattle hit. So Spike Owen, Roger's former teammate at the University of Texas, gets the first hit off Roger tonight.
Roger may have guessed with him a little bit and said, well, I think he's probably looking for the fastball. He saw throwing something breaking, and a good piece of hitting by Owen to get a clean single into right field on the breaking ball. Just served it down there.
I don't know if I'd be willing to change if I had him that far behind my fastball, but Roger did, and they have their first hit. Here's the left fielder, Phil Bradley. Roger, of course, will be aware of Owen's speed a little bit at first. Red Sox infield, Hoffman and Barrett set a double play depth. Something these Mariners looking for they have not had as of late. They have not had back-to-back hits in the last 68 innings now, and have only had 2 hits in a row in the last 111.
Amazing statistic, isn't it?
It is incredible. One thing about it, it's not hard to figure out why their record stands at 7-12 after being 5-3 at one time. When you don't get back-to-back hits, it's just impossible to score. That's all. Again, Roger with that quick move over to first. No balls, a strike. The count to the Seattle left fielder, Phil Bradley. Tries to bunt it and gets a little piece of the ball and a lot of Gedman on the foul tip, and it's 0-2.
I figure that's not a bad idea. The way he's going, you play for a run now, Fenway or not.
Not a bad idea, even the way this Mariner club is going. If Cartier put the sign on himself, especially when you're facing a Clemens, you know you have not been scoring very much. What you'd like to do maybe is get something on the board to take a little pressure off your pitchers. Striking out an awful lot. You're not advancing some runners along, that's for sure. Not putting the ball in play. Just outside with the breaking ball is Roger, and it's a 1-2 count. Last 11 games for the Mariners, they've hit just 137 as a team. Once again,
he knows that Owen can run, too, a little bit. He's a pretty good runner.
Well, he either slipped just a bit coming back there or he gave something away. His ideas looked like they were leaning towards second. Maybe they did give something away. Maybe Getty snipped it out a little bit, too. They go with a pitch out, nothing going, 2-2. Third base coach. Struck him out. Went right to the inside corner and very hard on the fastball from Roger. And that's number 7.
So he says, let's go back to what got me here, and here's the fastball, and try to hit it. And it's right at a good spot to get Bradley out of there. Number 7.
First baseman Ken Phelps. Jim Mahoney coaching down at third for the Mariners. former Red Sox and my former teammate, Darren Johnson. And the hitting instructor, the coach over at first. Quick throw there. Owen back in time. Ball just a little bit behind Owen and Baylor, but no advancement.
Actually, Jim Mahoney was first signed by the Red Sox, too. He played there at their club in Minneapolis when they were AAA there.
Another look over for Owen. He was an infielder, wasn't he?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Shortstop.
Darren Johnson, of course, he holds a title for some tape measure jobs in a lot of ballparks, both American and National League. Phelps has that ball thrown right by him by Roger. And it's an 0-1 count. One down in the top of the fourth inning. No score in this one, as it's been all pitching. Clemens against Mike Moore. Talked about Western Division clubs during spring training. You certainly had to think about the Seattle Mariners. Not that they were ready to win over there, but ready to give some people some problems and going into series thinking, well, they can win some games, and I'm sure they felt that way. And probably still do.
I believe, Monty, that they've got enough young talent on this club that they can still make some noise over there and be at least a long shot to contend and make it interesting for the folks in Seattle. Presley and Bradley are good players. Davis, Alvin Davis.
And some good young pitchers. The throw a little bit off the mark there. And looked like Owen did have an idea of going to second. Either that or Rogers' move just kind of tricked him. 2 balls, 1 strike to count for the Mariner first baseman, Ken Phelps. Hole for him, of course, on that right side to pull into. But I suppose with a pitcher's speed like Clemens, you don't really consider that much of a hole on that side. There is a little respect for Phelps' ability to pull the ball, though. Lyons shades him, maybe 4 or 5 steps into right center field. And again, Roger over to first. I would think that if we were in the National League, or maybe with 1 or 2 other umpires in this league tonight, Owen would have already scored.
Around on the box.
On the box, yeah.
That's right.
That's a very close clothesline move that Roger's using. Struck him out. Looked like the hard slider there, and Roger has gone to the snowman. That's number 8.
Boy, he is using those corners tonight. He'll give away ball 2 or ball 3 occasionally. This time, drifting, and that was just right up there around the letters. Try it and see.
The one Mariner hitter who has really slammed the ball off Roger tonight steps in now. Gorman Thomas, the designated hitter. He sent one on a screaming line drive to Rice and left. Misses that one, 0-1.
Crowd used to getting cheers about triples, home runs, and things are getting a treat so far tonight, aren't they?
Well, I tell you, Ned, I think they're going to see a lot of this during the course of the year. Certainly Roger, if he can stay strong, they're going to get it from Hurst. And they should be able to get it from Oil Can Boyd. Foul tipped in and out of the glove of Gedman. No balls, 2 strikes to Thomas. We look at this 4-man rotation, especially. Al Nipper, who says he's not a strikeout man, has had more than his share, though, in his early goings. We know Lawler can strike out people. We know that Mike Brown can strike out people. Speaking of that, Mike Brown will figure as John McNamara's number 5 starter. As that rotation will get going now. The 0-2 just misses the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So you look at this Red Sox pitching staff. Jim Mahoney going through shoot. I don't know what kind of signs you give other than maybe something to Owen over at first to get your designated hitter off the hook with a stolen base or get caught stealing. One thing for sure, Gorman Thomas didn't look down there. Breaking ball misses, and it's outside to count Evels at 2-2. Look at this pitching staff, Ned. May, just maybe, could reach 550 or 600 strikeouts. I don't know about 1,000. Another quick look by Roger on Owen. You have to give them 150 apiece out of the 4 of them. Their average.
Terrific there. Yeah,
you bet it is. You bet. And none of those fellows much walk anybody. Oh, had an idea and held it up just in time as they asked Tim Welke at first. He said no. So it's a 3-2 count on Thomas. This will give Owen with some speed a head start.
Crowd putting the pressure on the umpires right now. They want to see the strikeout. This pitch wasn't far from being a strike. It really wasn't. That's a good high American League strike. Possibly sometime. Would not be in the National League, and Welke says no.
That's the 6-3-2 count for Roger. Now Roger, a little cat and mouse game as Baylor will play behind Owen now. They don't choose to hold him on over at first. They figure he's going to go anyway, so they'll... Actually, he's kind of holding him on, but he's just dead behind him. He'll move quicker than usual, though, to defensive set. Popped up right side. Playable for Baylor as he drifts into foul ground now. And has it go off his glove, and that's the play we mentioned that just doesn't like to make.
He's very uncertain on those. He says so himself. Seemed to be right there. Wasn't that hard. And it just went above his head and healed off his glove. He hasn't played first base for about 3 years. That gives Roger another chance.
That's right. Boy, there's nobody hates that any worse than Don Baylor does, you can bet. A little meeting between Roger and the base runner right now, Spike Owen, as he went back across the middle to go to first. Of course, Spike well on around second on the way to third. So the payoff once again to Gorman Thomas. Struck it out. Call on a running inside corner fastball. That's number 9 for Roger, but more importantly, he erases the base hit. 1 hit for the Mariners, no score. And they leave one. After 3.5, there is no score in this game with the Red Sox and the Mariners. And now a message from your Mass Chevy dealers, the place to get the truck deal of a lifetime.
Lots of Chevy cars. Take a look. New celebrities. Now. Your Mass Chevy dealers coming at you with the smoothest things on wheels, like the midsize Celebrity. Lots of models, lots of options, lots of class, for not a lot of bucks. Come into your Mass Chevy dealer and get what's coming to you.
Hi, I'm Warren Spahn, and I'm Ted Williams. May 17th promises to be a special day in Boston, Ted. It's the Equitable Old Timers game at Fenway Park. This year's game pays special tribute to the Red Sox 1946 championship team.
Come out and see other great players as well.
That's right, I'll be there.
I said great players.
Ted, if you had to contend with more tough lefties, you may not have been so tough, you know what?
Oh, you think so, huh? Well, you'll have a chance.
That's the Equitable Red Sox Old Timers game at Fenway Park, May 17th. To order tickets, call 267-1700 or contact the Red Sox ticket office at 4 Yawkey Way.
That's Saturday, May 17th, and don't miss it.
A change in the New York Mets. Atlanta score. The Mets are just continuing to pour it on the Atlanta Braves. And New York now 10-5 over the Atlanta club. That's after 7.5. New York Mets have won 9 of their last 10. It looked like they are shoo-in to make it 10 in a row, Mr. Martin, if they lead that American League East race. Houston, by the way, who's leading the National League West with a 13-5 record. Philadelphia just slapped a quick 6 on them in the bottom of the first, and after an inning and a half, Philadelphia leads them 6-1. Here's Buckner. He chops it foul toward the first base side. Buckner, Rice, and Baylor to face Mike Moore here. No score after 3.5 as we go to bottom of the inning number 4. Maybe one of those games, Ned, that both pitchers could go about 12 or 13 innings and have just about the results we got right now. 2 hits for Boston and 1 for Seattle. Buckner out on a fairly sharp hit ball to straightaway center in the first. Tried to get on top of that one, couldn't do it. 0-2. By the way, that we saw, Ned told you about that hand injury to Dale Murphy. He hurt that making a catch up against the wall in the third inning. Had to leave the game. Will be out, they report, for 5 or 6 days, which will bring a consecutive game streak for him. Tonight made his 675th straight start in that Atlanta outfield, so that string will come to a halt tonight. I don't know if he was going to catch anybody anyway. That number is 675, a long way away from catching anybody over there. Breaking ball toward the Red Sox dugout and off our camera. Down in the hole at first base.
Watch the merchandise.
Buckner said he'll be glad when it gets about 90 degrees every day. He don't care where he has to go. He was kind of disappointed Sunday that they did not get to play because of the warm weather, and felt like that they could win. Hit weakly to Owen at short. A little bit of a high throw, but Phelps will handle it, and Buckner's out number 1. Matter of fact, when you talk to a lot of the Red Sox players, they felt like that they really wanted to play. They felt like they had the upper hand with Roger going against Gubazov.
I know that
Sunday
McNamara felt that way.
Yeah.
Definitely. He wanted that game to be played. They figured that Roger was ready and that they had been struggling.
Not only that, Gubazov, for some reason, has never won a game in his major league career in April. So they didn't feel like there was any reason for that to change. Here's the left fielder, Jim Rice. He was out on a fly ball, a medium deep right in the second. Makes some more breaking ball, strike 1. The Red Sox hits a single by Evans in the third and an infield hit by Don Baylor in the second. Only Baylor got as far as second. Broken bat, looping fly ball. This will be a base hit. Deeper than you might think on a broken bat. Big turn for Rice at first, and he'll hold up right there. Hit number 3 for Boston. That ball deep into that gap in the left center field for a broken bat. First baseman Don Baylor will be the hitter. Infield, outfield, straight away for Donnie. Of course, the infield shortens up just a bit to look for a twin killing. Well, these Mariners have done some twin killing, too. They have turned 21 double plays. They crowd Donnie off the plate inside, 1-1. Baylor, some pretty good numbers against these Mariners in his career, 266. He's hit 21 home runs against them. Last year had 3 of those against the Mariners. Oh, boy, he looked like he was looking for the breaking ball and got it and just fouled it off. A ball and 2 strikes. Kind of odd. The Red Sox have 3 hitters against these Mariners, all with 21. Baylor, Rice, and Armas. All with identical home run marks against Seattle. All of them right-handed, too. You think that has something to do with that park in Seattle? Maybe. They crowd him again.
Something to do with this park, too, here, maybe.
And with the exception of Baylor, you're absolutely right. I'm sure it does. Two balls, 2 strikes to Baylor. Oops. Just by speed alone, as Moore comes over to first, you can't drift too far off that bag. If you ever got all that coupled up with a good move, you wouldn't be able to step off the bag at all. Baylor fouls a high pitch away, and the count will hold at 2-2. Mariners and the Red Sox traded numbers last year. The Mariners won 4 in Fenway, while the Red Sox could manage 2, and they just turned those numbers around out in the Kingdome. On the hands, foul. Presley couldn't quite reach it down that third base line. Would not have mattered anyway.
Taylor ought to get bats that are about as thick at the end, where he holds the bat, as it is at the business end. The way they eat him up inside of those pitches all the time. Get a little more thickness in there.
Well, they definitely try to work him inside. There's no question about that. If nothing else, it's hard for him to hit that ball fair, as we have seen many times already in this short season. And they just go completely across the plate there, and it's a full count to Baylor. Doubtful whether Rice would go here or not with that leg bothering him, but he could very well be sent. Really hampered him around on Friday night in Kansas City. Didn't seem to be quite as bad on Saturday. Maybe Baylor wants to check on that himself. Not Baylor, Moore, excuse me. Rice goes. It's swing and a miss. Here's the throw by Yeager. Plenty of time, and it's a strikeout. 2-4 on the double play. So the Red Sox do not score in the fourth inning. They get a hit. They leave no one. And as we go to inning number 5 on this Tuesday night, no score after 4. And now a message from Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Centers. At Sullivan Tire, you'll be treated with our family spirit, because that's what Sullivan Tire is all about.
I realized something when I started Sullivan Tire many years ago. It wasn't enough to offer the best parts and tires. My customers expected more. They wanted to walk into a Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Center and be helped with personal family service.
At any of our locations, you'll be treated with our family spirit, because that's what Sullivan Tire is all about.
Now, Goodyear Vector white walls on sale, only $49.95 for the P155-80R13.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
Here's a look at the strike him out, throw him out. Rice, of course, as we mentioned, with a little bit of a hobble in that leg. And a good, nasty pitch here once again. That hard slider from Moore, and Yeager with a lot of time to come out of there and fire. Of course, Rice not trying to steal the base. They're trying to stay out of the double play, and he is out by a long ways. Strikeout number 3 for Moore on that one. That's the 22nd double play turn by the Mariners this year. And Ned, we'll just go back to you. We'll watch Roger and Gedman play catch for a little while longer if you want to.
I'd say Roger's fairly strong tonight, wouldn't you?
Maybe those 2 days more he got onto his start, 2 more days of rest have really been something for him. One thing, right after that first inning, he was a little high in that first inning, and although he had some 3-2 counts, did strike out the side, which he did also in the fourth after giving up a hit. But he's kind of gotten himself right down in that slot now in those in-between innings.
He went out and threw about 5 to 7 minutes in the rain in Kansas City after the game was called, and figured to get his throwing in, but he really didn't work an awful lot then. So he is hyper tonight. He has fanned 9. He has given up 1 hit through 4 innings. He faces Jim Presley. 1 ball, no strikes to the third baseman. Presley went down swinging in the second. He was number 4. No breeze right now. It's not a factor. Drops the breaking pitch over for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And without that wind coming in, it's a little bit warmer than it was really at the opening of the game. There's 2 of them. Went for the high pitch, tried to hold it back, and went to one knee.
Now, this is what happens when you're trying to catch up to a fastball. You realize you're a little bit behind. You get yourself a little bit too anxious because you're trying to get out in front and catch up to it. You make yourself swing at some bad pitches, especially that fastball up. 1-2 delivery, fouled off.
Breaking ball that time, fouled up the screen. A ball and 2 strikes. Kind of overthrew the breaking ball that time for ball 2, 2-2. Roger fanned the side in the first, got 2 strikeouts in the second, 1 in the third, and 3 more in the fourth. And 1 in the fifth so far. That's number 10. So he goes on.
Bonus time has come early here for the Red Sox, and the Jimmy fun tonight is Roger Clemens has pumped up 10. That gets you right over the bonus hump there, and then, boy, it's just like, well, it's it's a cakewalk from here on out.
$1,500 right now.
Yes, sir. All sponsored by the Polaroid Corporation.
There's Calderon for strike 1. He was called out on strikes in the second. 6 times now in his career has Roger fanned 10 or more, and 5 of them have been at Fenway. Most recently was against the Tigers, April 22nd this year. He struck out 10. Foul, strike 2. He's ahead of Calderon, 0-2, and this crowd is getting turned on. They're small, but they're mighty when he gets 2 strikes on somebody. Strike 3, Calderon. On the outer edge. Calderon does not like the call, and that's number 11.
Well, I don't blame him for not liking it. The big thing that we mentioned it a couple of times, not only is he getting the strikeouts, he's not necessarily doing it power-wise. He's doing it with just little bitty pieces of the plate. Now, he's been hit, and he'll go out right here. Only about a half of that ball's on the plate.
Tartable, strike 1. Tartable grounded out to second base to achieve a notoriety of some sort. At least he made contact with the ball in the 3rd inning. Strike 2. Boy, what a show he's putting on now. The crowd yelling again for him. Gedman was going to put himself out there anyway and just dare Tartable to reach. He would have had to reach across the plate for it. And what is impressive is the fact that most power pitchers will try to go down the middle. He's using the corners. Ball 2. And he's using as you mentioned, very little of the plate on each side, but willing to throw, okay, ball 2, but I still have this thing that I can throw for strike 3.
Well, you know what? He's still pitching. He's not just lining up throwing the ball. He's just, right now, unhittable.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3. Clemens gets the side. He has now struck out 12 through 5 innings. 1, 2, 3 they go, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. No score.
When you buy a Nissan 300ZX, you buy a legend, a tradition of many Z cars, each meticulously made to the tolerance of an expensive watch. You buy a racing heritage unmatched by any car in its class. But most of all, when you buy the awesome 300ZX, you buy Nissan, America's #1 selling import car. The name is Nissan.
Well, that was the inside part of the plate there to Mr. Tartable.
I knew it, too.
That umpire's been busy. Mr. Voltaggio's had that right hand. He may have to go get a rub down on that before this game's over. Certainly he'll need one after it.
Meanwhile, the cosmetics have been applied by Clemens with the 12 strikeouts, but his opposite number, Mike Moore, has given up 3 hits and also no runs where it counts. He has struck out 3 along the way. His last one resulted in a double play in the 4th inning. So he has done his job, too. And we've got a 0-0 corker going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Rich Gedman up. Gedman grounded to second base in the 2nd inning. Ball 1. Moore has been using breaking stuff to advantage. Neither pitcher has walked a batter tonight. 2-0 count to Rich. He lines it fair down the line and right. Caroming off. Ball in play. The ball thrown in there by Calderon. He is out at second. Rich Gedman with a hard enough single so that Calderon and Wright could play it nicely off the carom and throw him out at second base. Shortstop Spike Owen taking the throw.
Well, there's not much way you can hit a ball any harder than this. We've seen Gedman really waylay on some pitches this year. There's just one more of them. He really gets right on top of that ball. And really, the ball is hit so hard, you would figure that he may not have a chance to go to second anyway, and boy, did he not. Calderon with a good play there for a visiting player.
Take it nicely, perfectly off the boards there, and that overhand throw on one hop to get Gedman. And Getty had no chance. So it's a single wasted. 1 ball, no strikes. Barrett with a count of 1 ball, no strikes. Marty flied deep to center field in the second inning. Coming close to the wall, but Henderson went back on the track. There's a strike on Marty. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Red Sox now have 4 hits in the game, but a couple of them have been erased. One on the strikeout into a double play, and this one with out trying to stretch for Gedman. 1 ball, 1 strike to Marty Barrett. 0-0. Bottom of the 5th in a dandy. Just outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I'll assure you, Ned, there are 18 players. Actually, make that 20 since we have the DH. There are 20 players that are excited about playing in this kind of game because you got to stay on your toes. You know you want to make that good play when you have an opportunity to make it, just like Calderon did there. Certainly your pitcher and catcher are interested.
Ball 4, and there's the first walk given up by either pitcher. Barrett walks with 1 out. Right now, that makes that throw by Calderon look pretty important. We'll see. Steve Lyons fly to center field in the 3rd inning. No runs, 1 hit for Seattle. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Red Sox. 12 strikeouts so far for Roger Clemens. If you just joined us, he has fanned the last 6 in a row, which ties an all-time Red Sox record for consecutive strikeouts in a game. Ray Culp has 1 of them, and Buck O'Brien did it a long time ago. Culp did it in 1970. O'Brien did it in 1913 at Washington, old Griffith Stadium, and Ray Culp did it on the 11th of May. And Roger has done it here tonight so far. 6 going and a possibility of 7. That was at California where Culp did it. Lions up with a count of 1 ball, no strikes. They're playing in New York now. Minnesota got 2 home runs in the second inning to lead Guidry and the Yankees 2-0. Tim Loudner and Lombardazzo hit back-to-back home runs. Lombardazzo with his first major league career home run off Guidry. But after Loudner hit 1. 1-0 to Lyons.